The power of choosing yourself. A journey to authentic living. When was the last time you stood in front of a mirror and truly asked yourself, am I living the life I want? Not the life that others expect from you. Not the life that seems most convenient or socially acceptable, but a life that resonates deeply with who you are at your core. Carl Jung, one of the most profound thinkers of modern psychology, emphasized the significance of choosing oneself. Yet, in a world filled with societal pressures, expectations, and external validation, making that choice often feels like an act of defiance rather than self-fulfillment. Jung's insights urge us to embark on a journey of self-discovery, a journey that requires courage, introspection, and the willingness to step away from the familiar path. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now, let's get started, but let's pause for a moment and reflect. How often do we silence our inner voice out of fear? How often do we trade our true desires for what seems practical or expected? It's almost as if we've been conditioned to ignore the most important conversation we can ever have, the conversation with ourselves. This is where the ancient philosophy of Stoicism intertwines beautifully with Jung's teachings. Stoicism, a school of thought embraced by philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, teaches us to live in accordance with nature, our true nature. It encourages us to ask the fundamental question, are my actions aligned with my core values? Am I living a life that reflects my deepest principles? Or have I allowed myself to drift into conformity? Both Jung and the Stoics emphasize the importance of self-awareness and personal integrity. Jung's concept of individuation, the process of becoming who we truly are, echoes the Stoic belief that true wisdom lies in self-mastery. Individuation is not about rebelling against societal norms for the sake of defiance. Rather, it is about aligning our external actions with our internal truths. Similarly, Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control external events, we can control our perceptions and responses. This simple yet profound realization gives us the power to shape our own destiny. But this isn't just a philosophical musing, it's a call to action. Every day we make choices that either bring us closer to our authentic selves or lead us further away. When we look in the mirror, are we seeing someone who is living truthfully, or someone who has compromised too much for the sake of convenience? The challenge of choosing yourself, fruit. Choosing yourself doesn't mean rejecting others. It doesn't mean becoming self-absorbed or indifferent to the needs of those around you. Rather, it is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that your life is valuable enough to be lived on your own terms. This choice may manifest in different ways. It might mean setting firm boundaries where you once allowed yourself to be overextended. It might mean pursuing a passion that doesn't align with conventional measures of success. It might mean saying no when saying yes would be easier. To choose yourself is not selfish, it is wise. When you make decisions that align with your values, you operate from a place of strength rather than neediness. You no longer seek external validation to fill an internal void. Instead, you cultivate inner fulfillment, which in turn allows you to be of greater service to the world. When you are fulfilled, balanced and grounded, you have more to offer to those around you. The prison of external expectations. Many of us unknowingly live under the weight of external expectations. We adopt roles, personas, and identities that have been shaped by society, family, and culture. Jung warned of the dangers of identifying too closely with these masks. He described the persona as the version of ourselves that we present to the world, a role we play to conform to societal standards. The problem arises when we mistake the persona for our true selves. Over time, this suppression of our authentic identity leads to deep dissatisfaction. We may achieve success by conventional standards, yet feel an underlying sense of emptiness. We may appear to have everything together, yet struggle with an inexplicable restlessness. This is the cost of ignoring our true selves. From a Stoic perspective, Epictetus reminds us, we are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. In other words, external pressures don't inherently control us. It is our willingness to conform to them that creates distress. When we allow societal expectation to dictate our choices, we relinquish our personal power. But here's the good news, we can reclaim that power. We can break free from the invisible prison of external validation and choose a life that is genuinely fulfilling. This begins with listening to ourselves. The art of listening to you. It means understanding that growth is a lifelong process, that you will make mistakes, face setbacks, and sometimes doubt yourself. But it also means recognizing that every challenge is an opportunity to deepen your understanding of who you are. So, as you stand at the crossroads of your life, ask yourself, am I living a life that truly reflects who I am? Am I making choices that honor my deepest values? Am I brave enough to walk the path less traveled? If the answer is yes, then step forward with confidence. The journey ahead may not be easy, but it will be yours. And that, more than anything, is what makes it worth taking. The power of choosing yourself. A journey of self-mastery and inner freedom. Carl Jung once stated, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. This idea speaks to the deep challenge of true self-acceptance, a process that requires us to confront, integrate, and ultimately embrace every aspect of ourselves, the strengths we celebrate, the flaws we hide, the fears we suppress, and the aspirations we dare to pursue. Choosing yourself is not merely about self-indulgence or personal gratification. Rather, it is a profound act of courage, a commitment to living in alignment with your deepest truths. To embrace oneself fully means acknowledging both the light and the shadow within. Jungian psychology teaches that integrating the shadow, the parts of ourselves we often deny, leads to wholeness and authenticity. When we avoid this confrontation, we risk living in a fragmented state, disconnected from our true potential. But when we accept ourselves in our entirety, we unlock a sense of freedom that is both rare and transformative. This freedom is not about external validation, but about living in accordance with our innermost values. From a Stoic perspective, choosing yourself aligns with the virtue of self-mastery, the discipline to govern one's actions, emotions, and thoughts. Stoicism teaches us that external circumstances are beyond our control, but our responses to them are entirely within our power. Epictetus, a revered Stoic philosopher, famously remarked, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." This perspective highlights an essential truth. By focusing inward, not in a self-obsessed way, but in a manner that fosters personal growth and virtue, we actually position ourselves to contribute more meaningfully to the world around us. The illusion of external control and the reality of inner power. One of the greatest misconceptions in life is the belief that we can control external circumstances. Many people expend tremendous energy trying to shape their environment, influence others, or seek approval from society. But the Stoics remind us that true power lies not in manipulating the outside world, but in mastering the self. When we anchor ourselves in self-awareness and self-discipline, we cultivate an inner strength that is unshakable, no longer swayed by fleeting opinions, trends, or external pressures. We become the architects of our own destiny. Instead of reacting impulsively to life's events, we respond with clarity, wisdom, and composure. This empowerment through self-focus allows us to operate from a position of strength and abundance, rather than from a place of neediness and deficiency. When we are no longer desperate for external validation, we make decisions that are grounded in wisdom, integrity, and authenticity. This is not selfishness, it is self-respect. By choosing ourselves, we are not turning our backs on others. Rather, we are ensuring that we show up in the world as our best, most complete selves. Only when we are whole can we truly offer something meaningful to those around us. A person who has mastered themselves, who is mentally and emotionally balanced, does not give out of obligation or exhaustion, but out of genuine generosity and purpose. The ripple effect of choosing yourself. The decision to prioritize your well-being does not exist in isolation. It sends a powerful message, not only to yourself, but to everyone around you. When you choose to live authentically, you create an environment where others feel safe to do the same. Jung once observed, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." This awakening, the process of turning inward, understanding oneself, and embracing authenticity, is one of the most transformative journeys a person can undertake. And when you embark on this journey, the effects are not limited to your personal growth alone. They extend outward, influencing your relationships, your work, and the world at large. Consider the impact of a single individual who lives with integrity. This person inspires others, not through force or persuasion, but simply by existing as an example of what is possible. When people witness someone who is truly at peace with themselves, who operates with clarity and purpose, it encourages them to embark on their own path of self,